What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Preppers Live. Apparently, I'm just sitting here watching my own OBS screen. So now you caught me. I'm David Wilson, and this is our weekly live stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever interesting topic we have for the week. And I think this one we have a pretty nice one. So I'm looking forward to chatting about the thing that we're going to talk about today. Obviously, I'm being kind of vague about it, but we're going to talk about it in just a second, and it's already in the title and the thumbnail, so you know what it is, but we're going to talk about it in a second. First of all, let me say hello to some people who are here already. Charles Bronson, Hyder, Appenzel, Abdelrahman, Julian was here. I don't know if Julian's still here now. John, Nerd BKK, Lord Devi, Gun, Edis, Daigo, Thomas, Simon, Star7. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Edda says coffee ready just in time. Yeah, I had to make some coffee also. That's part of the reason why I'm running a little bit late today. I don't know, it's kind of difficult sometimes getting everything set up right before, but I don't know, you get used to it after a while. Hello to Frog Father Dog and Pablo Vena. So, updates. I think every Friday I start the stream saying, oh, we're gonna have a video next week, and then it never materializes. So I tell you right now, there's gonna be a video next week or I'm gonna delete this channel. And when I say that, I'm saying it as a way for you to hold me accountable to the fact if I make a video or not. Things have been very busy recently. You know, moving to a new country takes a lot of time and effort, and also trying to work when the rest of your coworkers are on the opposite side of the world from you. Lots of different reasons why things have been busy, but I've got a few different ideas for videos to make over the next few weeks, and I think on Monday I'm gonna have plenty of time to record one, so we're definitely gonna have one out next week. Or like I said, I would delete my channel, but it's not gonna happen because I'm gonna make sure one gets out next week. And then we'll also get on a more consistent pace because, you know, I like putting videos out every week, and it hasn't been like that. I think I've only had 2 out since the beginning of the year, and it's almost March. So time to get back into a more repeatable rhythm here. Nerd BKK says, don't delete your channel. Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just saying it as a hyperbolic way to keep myself motivated. Ashra says, coffee is the fuel that drives the software world. Yeah, that's for sure. The kind of work that we do requires stimulants, unfortunately. Hyder says, let's hope this channel doesn't magically disappear. That would only happen if YouTube decided they didn't like me for some reason, which I don't think I'd do anything that offensive, so hopefully that won't be the case. One thing I will mention, though, I haven't sent this person an email to ask them what happened, but there was another Emacs channel that was making a lot of videos over a period of time last year called Emacs Elements, and one day it just disappeared. I don't know what happened to that channel. The person who was making those videos was very interested in Emacs and was doing a lot of stuff there. I don't know what made them decide to do that, but I hope they're okay. I'm not deleting the channel. I'm just making a joke, people. Hey, Jan, and F Society, Alex, Case. Case, I would expect you to see you on Twitch and not on YouTube here. And also, another update would be that there was a ton of interest in Rational Emacs since last week, which was really awesome for me to see. I wasn't really expecting to see as much interaction on the repo as I got, but I'm very thankful to the people who have been contributing, and I will be giving them a little bit of a shout out in a second here. Ashra says, YouTube management, does he use Vim? No, he uses Emacs. Delete the channel immediately and have him use Ed. Yeah, that would be pretty funny though if I actually switched to using Ed instead of Emacs the whole time. All right, so community contributions. So I would like to say a special thanks to the following people who sent PRs in the first week of Rational Emacs being live since last Friday. Jeff Bowman, Jafer, Julian Tant, MFX Arc, Gavin Freeborn, Stas Krivetsky, Anders Jackson, and Eric Lundstedt. Thank you all for sending PRs to the project this week, especially to Jeff, Jafer, and Julian, who sent quite a lot of PRs and did a lot of really useful things to help make the project a little bit more fleshed out than it was when I kind of dropped it there in its half-started state. So very cool to see a lot of interaction there. Gavin says, just in time for some kind words. Yes, thank you very much for your contribution as well. I know you probably weren't really expecting to contribute, but since you filed an issue with the exact code snippet, you know, it kind of begs the question, why don't you just send a PR? So I'm glad you did it. F Society says, what's Rational Emacs? It's basically it's a new Emacs configuration that we're working on that is actually meant for the community to use it if you want to. Not really like a replacement for something like Doom Emacs or whatever, but it's more like a basis for building a configuration on top of. So watch the stream from last Friday if you want to hear more things about that. Hey, Benoit. Let's see. So to get things kicked off today, I think it might be cool to take a look at some of the PRs that were sent over the last week. I haven't really spent a lot of time preparing which ones I'm going to show, so we're just going to go through the list really quickly and see what we can see there. Nerd BKK says, can we expect more videos about Stump WM? I don't know, because I started using it and then I stopped using it, so not sure. Yes, Ashraz is giving the link to the repo. I'm going to show it right now. It's just github.com/systemcrafter/rational-emacs if you want to check it out. Hey, Bill. And PSP. Let's see. And hello to Alejandro as well. F Society says, have you ever used Acme, and do you know of a plugin which makes Emacs more Acme-like? I have heard of Acme. It's one of the Plan 9 things, right? I have not tried it, but it sounds kind of cool. Let's see. Okay, so PRs. So we're going to take a quick look at the closed PRs. Case says MX Butterfly. Why? Jeff added headers to modules. So there's been some discussion about what the files should have at the top of each file, because typically in Emacs, all the files, the Emacs list files as a part of a package or project would have header comments that set things like, you know, the lexical binding variable, if you want to have that, which we do in this case. And so that I don't just gloss over that completely. Lexical binding is a way that it changes the way that variable bindings work inside the file, which actually makes it faster. So it actually helps with performance alongside programming improvements. But we're really talking about things like the copyright header, what type of license it is, who authored it. And in this case, we're saying System Crafter's community, because really the point is that this is a community author configuration. It's not my project, it's our project. And general commentary about what's in the module. So, you know, this is some useful stuff to have here, especially for people who want to come in and take a look at these files and try to understand what they do. So it's nice to have these things added. Also, let's see what else. Skeleton for writing new Rational Emacs modules. This is something I'll have to try out today because I think it would be pretty cool. I haven't used it yet. So the idea here is that Emacs gives you the ability to have a template for new files that you create. I have not talked about this at all on this channel yet, but I will pretty soon, I think, because it's a cool built-in feature to Emacs, which is called Skeleton. And it's a little bit weird to use. I haven't fully understood it yet, but I want to learn it better so I can make a video about it, because I think it does have some value. There are other similar packages out in the world, like YaSnippet, and I think even Minad, Daniel Mindler, has written one called Temple now. So there's other packages that do stuff like this that are a little bit more user-friendly, but Skeleton is built in, so it has that going for it. But basically, this PR adds the ability to automatically add the initial directory or file information into a new Rational Emacs module whenever you create a file that says rational dash with some word after that and then .el. So we'll try that out in a bit. Case says Skeleton is so weird. Yeah, it is kind of weird. That's for sure. Benoit says MIT, nice. Yeah, well, the idea is that you know, GPL sometimes discourages people from copying snippets, and I want people to be able to copy snippets from this. So better to have it as MIT or some similar, more permissive license. I am a pragmatist, after all. Let's see. That's a useful one. We definitely want to try that one out, so don't let me forget. In fact, maybe I should be making a list of things to try out. Okay, things to try. So let's try out some of the things that got added. So new module file skeletons. Skeleton, there's only one. Line numbering configuration. So Angry Bacon, I forgot to add you in the list, Angry Bacon. Jeez. I quickly scanned through the list of people who added stuff. So Angry Bacon is another person who... whoops, what did I just do? So anyway, sorry, Angry Bacon, for not mentioning you. I don't know if you're here right now. So anyway, back to what we were looking at. Line numbering configuration, that's something I didn't actually add initially, but it's something we need if you're going to be writing code. I mean, at least I need it because it's very useful to have line numbers at the side of files. And if you don't know what that means, if you open up, like in my own configuration, I'll just show you, but we'll show you in the other one in a moment. Was it init .emacs and init.el. So you get the line numbers over on the left side, basically, just to tell you what line numbers you're looking at. So Angry Bacon added a setting for that in Rational UI, which is... Oh, I think he did a little bit of code formatting, which is also useful. Yeah. Where was it? I know it's in here somewhere. Right here. So yeah, there's a variable Rational UI display line numbers. I mean, obviously, you could set that up yourself, but this sort of sets up hooks for you automatically and has a couple settings, which honestly I haven't tried out a couple of these before, so it might be interesting to take a look at those. Case says System Crafter Software Foundation. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Let's see. What did I see there? SCCC? Yeah. Let's overthrow the FSF. So let's see what else we got here. Bind some more help commands. See, there's another Angry Bacon PR that I missed. So basically binding some other bindings to help commands, which is kind of useful. What else do we have? Jeff has got another PR. I need to go look at the open PRs and merge that one, but we'll talk about that one in a minute. Activate recent F modes. That was another thing we added, which is that Julian added, which was having recent F mode turned on. And if you don't know about recent F mode, we're actually going to talk about that in the next video on the new Emacs from Scratch series. Basically, it's a mode that remembers the most recent files that you had open, so that you can get back to them more easily. There's like a recent open files. Is it dialogue? I don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. There's a way to look at the recent files you had open to make it easier to find. There's a consult command, consult recent file, which is more useful if you use Vertigo and consult. Ashra says recent F mode is a godsend. Yeah, it's a good mode. I actually don't use it because I use the project.el find, project find file. That's what I use most often. So I don't really use the recent F as much. Ashra says it's one of the parts that's even in my 30-line configuration. I didn't look at that yet either. I need to look at that one. Let's see. I won't spend too much time looking at these, but it's just interesting to see what things people added. Yeah, Ashra says recent F find file is the vanilla variant. So recent F find file. Where is that? File. I don't see that one. That's weird. Gavin merged something for better support for long lines. This is actually something I didn't know about in Emacs. There's something called, was it so long mode? Global so long mode. So if you have very long lines and files, this could actually help with performance in Emacs. So that's actually something probably worth mentioning in the Emacs from Scratch config. See, that's kind of one upside of doing this project, which I didn't consider. People know about things in Emacs config that I don't know about, so it helps all of us because then I can cover it in videos. So if you know about cool stuff that is not very commonly known about and that Emacs can do sort of in the box, let me know because it'd be nice to cover those things. All right. Another useful addition by Jeff was conditionally adding ELPA package repos based on Emacs version. So if you weren't aware, excuse me, the non-GNU ELPA is another alternative package repo that is a sort of a sister package or brother package repo, however you want to call it, to the main ELPA package repo. So it is run by the GNU project, but it's called non-GNU, or I guess it's not really run by the GNU project. Anyway, it's by default in Emacs 28 added to the set of package repos, which means you can install non-Free Software Foundation packages, like let's say Magit, from that repo instead of having to, well, I think Magit may be in there. I'm not sure which ones are in there. But basically what this change that Jeff added does is adds that repo to any Emacs version below 28. So you automatically get that added in. And then we also add the Melpa package repo too if you need that. Though I'm not sure like how much Melpa is needed with ELPA. There's a lot of stuff in Melpa that's not in ELPA, obviously, but I'm not sure how package conflicts work. Like if you have the same package in both places, which one does it prioritize? Maybe it just does it based on the order of the list. Who knows? What else? Some general sort of fixes by various folks to links and things. Jafer did a few of those. Thank you very much for that. Also, I think I forgot to require consult somewhere, which makes sense. Oh, he closed it. Maybe it was my fault. And other various random things. Peter Tillemans added something, and I forgot to mention him as well. So let me just go add him to the list. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Peter Tillemans. So I made a mistake and did not set the Vertigo load path correctly. But I think that we may have updated that after the fact. So let me just go back into SE Live. I don't want to forget anybody here. So Peter Tillemans. Okay. I won't be listing people's names every week, but I just wanted to this week because it's the first week and there was a lot of people who sent PRs, and I really appreciate that. There was also a lot of issues that people sent as well. You can see we have 16 issues already. Very thankful for all the people who are interested and want to do that. Oh, so I forgot also John Eastman, who is here right now, I think. I haven't reviewed or merged this one yet, but we probably will. So let's add John Eastman to the list as well. These names are obviously not in order. I'm just sort of adding them in. Aaron Swinson says, Magit, org contrib, and several other help org extensions are on non-GNU. Cool, good to know. Jeff says, Melpa is mostly packages built from Git, some of which don't have a version number, so they don't end up in Melpa stable, and most haven't shown up in GNU, non-GNU. Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay. Benoit says there should be a rational irrational module. Well, that sounds like some of the stuff we were doing a couple weeks ago with Emacs from Hell. Okay, so today what we could do, well, there's a couple things we can do. We can review a couple PRs maybe, and then we could try to work on something new, because I said this was a live crafting session. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what we could work on, but there's three things that I have in mind that we could do, which are a little bit more non-trivial, I suppose. One would be automatic updates. So implementing automatic updates may not be super easy to do, but I want to try a couple things, mainly for being able to figure out if the main repository for Rational Emacs has been updated since the last time you've, or I guess, if it has newer commits than what you have in your local clone of the repository. So it will tell you if you need to sync those things. And we can use the built-in VC mode functionality for that, I think. I'm not exactly sure. I may have to just shell out to Git directly, but we might try that a little bit. But we could also look into potentially doing a tab bar workspace config, which isn't so interesting because it's mainly just going to be me copying and pasting configuration of my own. And then maybe work on like an EXWM configuration, but that also requires using Zephyr to emulate a new X session, which also requires a little bit of overhead. So we might start with automatic updates and then work on a couple of the other things if that doesn't pan out very well. Also interested to hear if anybody has suggestions on other stuff that we could look at. But let's go ahead and just try to jump into running. Actually, I want to use vterm for this. And not in this. Come on now. Something about vterm, like it's starting to eat my key presses and I can't shift out of it anymore. Let's go to this one and then, excuse me. Then we will jump to projects, code, Rational Emacs. I think I have a manifest.scm here. So geeks shell pure manifest.scm. And then Emacs with profile rational. I think that's how I had it set up. So this should get us into a pure configuration that will There we go. Cool. It's working. It's getting there. Let's see. Failed to run. Okay. Did I forget to put git into the list of packages? Come on. Which one are you in? There you are. Jeez. Thank you. Let's go to... Let's see. vterm right there. And then we're going to open up the... Oh, jeez. Projects code, Rational Emacs, manifest.scm. I have git in there. What's the problem? I don't understand it. I don't know why it doesn't pick up on git in that context. Maybe I'll have to... I think that's what I ended up doing last time. Git didn't work the way I expected it to. Let's try this. All right, so git. Git works. Let's try Emacs with profile equals rational. Still doesn't like it. That's so stupid. Let's see. Straight process. What does it say? Oh, server certificate verification failed. Is it really that much of a problem? Elist demos. Okay, you just can't clone that repo. Let me think about that for a second. I'm trying to think of what package I might need to include. Is like going to be OpenSSL or something? Yeah, Star7 says last time we had the same problem. I think so. How about OpenSSL? Is that legit? Come on. Gotta load the Geeks REPL now. OpenSSL. Oh, there it is. Automatically typed in. Okay. Should be fine, I think. Let's see what that does. We'll bounce out of that config one more time. Save that file, then exit Geeks shell. Come on. I don't know if it's deciding on whether it's going to try to install it or not. It's too tiny to read, I know. Whenever it finally boots up all the way, it'll be fine. Here we go. Same problem. All right, we're going to skip that. So I'll just not do a pure session, which it would be nice if I could, because it is a little bit problematic when my Geeks packages start showing up in there. Yeah, zoom in a little bit. I can't... It will be zoomed in a moment. I'm thinking about the right way to approach this. Yeah, let's just whoop, up. Nope. There we go. Okay. Sorry, folks. The vagaries of trying to use software the right way. All right, here we go. Let's just take pure out. And then we'll run that. Everything should be working just fine now. Okay. Bill says try adding GNU utils or GNU TLS. That's probably the correct answer. We may try that in a moment also. Okay, so now we have to wait on everything to build, which is great. Tomas says, in my shell.nix environments, I always add a CA cert package. Yeah, so GNU TLS probably is the right one. Kay says, is this a new song? You're talking about the background music? No, we've been using the same 4 songs forever now. I'm sure everybody's tired of it. My goal with Flux Harmonic is to make new music for this channel, but we're going to be quite a while before we get there, I think. Ashra says, yeah, we have to guess a little bit since we can't see the error message. I'm being vague. I know, I'm sorry. It said something about the certificates not being available or something. You know, let's try it really, really fast. It should be setting the EXWM input mode right whenever Emacs pops up like that, but it's not doing it. And I'm going to accidentally turn the whole stream off in a moment if I hit the wrong button. GNU TLS. Let's see. Is that the right package for that? Yeah, GNU TLS. All right, we're going to try this one last time, and if it doesn't work, we're going to just skip it. No, back out. That's why. Vitaly says that we could do like an eval after load. That's possible. Let's see. Let's try this now. I guess it doesn't matter now because we've already pulled all the packages, so it's not going to give us any useful information. Okay, so we finally landed into the into the Emacs config. First of all, let's try that skeleton thing. I wonder if it's going to work automatically. Let's check it out. Rational desktop.el. So at the very bottom of the screen here is asking me, perform Rational Emacs Lisp skeleton auto insertion, yes or no? I'm going to press yes. Emacs module description provides a desktop environment experience with EXWM. Boom, look at that. That's awesome. Some Sirtaki tunes would be a nice background from Greece. I don't know if I could play anything like that on YouTube. That would be a little bit weird though, I think. Okay, so we just added rational desktop.el. That's pretty nice. So I mean, maybe we have to work on this a little bit then at some point, but we'll stop that for right now. What else did I say we were gonna do? I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird. It's because I'm getting over a cold this week, which is a lot of fun. Okay, so automatic updates. So here's what we can do. I'm gonna go merge one of the PRs I know that I wanna merge. We're gonna go into pull request here. The open source song on a loop? No thanks, that song is horrible. No offense to whoever wrote it. Let's see, it's this one. To set the home directory correct for Chemax2 users. This is another thing that Jeff added. I'm gonna go ahead and merge this, but I'm not gonna pull it yet. And the reason why is because I want to see if I can trigger some... Let me check the changes real quick. I'm gonna trigger an update basically inside of Rational Emacs. Potentially, we're gonna find out whether that actually is gonna be the case. Okay, that looks good, that looks good. Cool. So, man, scrolling on this screen is not working very well for me. Okay, so now I've merged something into master. I have a newer commit on the remote repo than what I have locally. So if I were to, let's see, what is VC mode? Well, I don't want that. What does VC mode have in it? Fetch, VC fetch, nope. Let's take a look at VC fetch. Excuse me. Fetch master state, compute master files ID of the state of file. So the thing about VC mode is got a bunch of different names for certain terminology because they're trying to abstract over various version control programs. So sometimes it's called something else. Update the current file set or branch. Let's see. Control HF, VC pull. Uncompression program SH not found. Okay, I need to add in a couple things here. Let's jump out of that for a second. Excuse me. So, core utils. Oh, I've got core utils already. I'm trying to think of what the package would be for that. You know, let's just get out of the pure geek shell. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of experimentation with this whenever I have more time because I would like to be in pure, but I think right now it's just gonna be too many problems. Okay, so what I was trying to do was look at VC pull, and now we can actually see the docs for that. You must be visiting a version control file or in a VCDIR buffer. Pull operation to update the current branch, prompting for an argument. VC update, VC pull. Yeah, VC pull. So I don't want it to automatically pull. I want it to fetch what's happening up there. But not actually pull it into the master branch yet because the user needs a chance to like actually see what changes have happened, or at least, you know, be notified that there are changes before they pull them in because it could break your configuration. One thing we might do actually, it would be nice if we could say like save the last good commit of the configuration that was used and make it so that you could roll back if you wanted to. Like I'm talking like a really primitive rollback. Just so that if you update the configuration, you can just go back to an earlier commit so you don't lose your working status. because that is a problem with a configuration like this where someone makes more commits, especially in an early state like we're in right now. Someone changes how things generally work, and then you pull down the latest and then everything's broken because you have some customizations that are built on top of it that don't work right anymore. So we want to try to avoid that problem. All right, so maybe we don't want to use this function. How about let's just look into calling directly into Git. So let's see, Git check origin for new commits. I know that's kind of a weird way to ask that question. VC log incoming, is that right? VC log incoming. Show a log of changes that would be received. Oh, okay, that's kind of nice. So how about this? Let's run that really quickly. Why isn't Q closing this window? Come on now. All right. So VC, well, first of all, stop. What is happening? All right, go to this folder, VC log incoming. So that looks right. It actually seems to have pulled it. That's nice. That's a good starting point. I like that a lot, actually, because it just gives you a nice readout about what could be coming from the latest. Now, the question is, oh, there's a VC up to date. You would still need to like initiate a fetch somehow, though, wouldn't you? But let's check that. I'm actually curious to see. VC up to date. No, it doesn't show up for me. Whoops. Come on. VC state. Is there a function for that? Oh, obviously that's a predicate function. VC up to date P. VC state of file is up to date. Well, does it do folders? How about this? If I were to say VC up to, what's it called? Get buffer file? No. Buffer file name. Okay. Void function. Oh, I forgot the P at the end. String P. You want an actual file? What kind of file are you asking for then? VC state file. Yeah. If it's not a string, what is it? Oh, is this... What is buffer file name giving us? Nil. Okay, so apparently in DRED buffers it doesn't work. All right. Q is triggering record macro. Yeah, because it's supposed to be killing the buffer, but it doesn't do that in this configuration right now, which I should probably find out why. All right, so let's go into a file. What we could do, we could just sort of assume we're going to open up init.el and then do it there. Can you navigate to the file? Everything I'm trying to do is not working, which is a really good sign. Pressing enter doesn't navigate to the file. Whatever. Control X, Control F, init.el. Let's run that again. Okay, so this says it's up to date, which obviously isn't true. VC log incoming, outgoing. Okay, so I'm going to try. Let's go into modules. Yeah, we don't have a core module yet, but maybe we don't need that. Rational update. How about that? Let's just open rash. Oof. Okay, modules, rational updates.el provides automatic update behavior for the configuration. Okay, so no commentary needed here. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to be. We just fill in commentary. Interesting. Oh, okay. They put that line up at the top. Cool. So let's do this. Defun rational up. Yeah, rational updates. Check for updates doesn't sound good. Check latest. Check for latest. We'll start with that, and then obviously, as you can see, I'm sort of using halfway scheme style here. I've been working on mesh, and it uses scheme style function syntax, so I'm getting a little bit confused right now. Ashra says VC update uses git pull, so you don't want to use that one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Bill says, are we using VC instead of Magit only because VC is included? That's right. I want to use a built-in behavior if it allows us to automate this. But, you know, generally I like Magit way better. Hashra says, you wrote too much common Lisp lately, no parentheses around the function name. Yeah. All right, so rational bleeding edge check, says Gun, maybe. So we were looking at VC log incoming. So we could say defun rational updates show log. We could say that maybe. We could start with that one. How about this? Interactive. And then with current buffer, let's see, get buffer. What is the command I'm looking for? Get buffer create. Buffer or name creating one, a new one. Or is it find file, no select? Does find file, no select return an existing buffer though? Basically what I want to do is load the init.el file so that bind them to a buffer and return the buffer so that we can, hey Marduk, so that we can have it be a buffer and then have, well, I guess I could set default directory, right? Is that going to be enough? Or I need it to be in a file actually for this stuff to work, I think. All right, so let's just do this. We're going to hack this in for right now. init.el, right? We got a spammer in the chat. Okay, so what we'll do is default directory variable is for getting the directory of a buffer. Yes, you're right. So user Emacs directory is probably the one that I want. In fact, how about we just do that? Expand file name, user Emacs directory. Is that the right order? No. Here we go. We're going to do this the right way. Okay, so we'll delete this off just to have it be init.el and then clean up my little mess right there. It probably would still execute correctly. Directory. Yeah. Okay, we're good. That looks right. So it's picking up from the right location. All right, so find file, no select. That should return a buffer. And then, let's double check that. I could be wrong. Yeah, return the buffer, fine. And I want to run, what was it? VC log incoming. VC log incoming. I wonder if I need to call that interactively. So I'm going to go somewhere else. Let's say I just go here, right? And then rational updates show log. Taking a sweet time. But it did it, which is good. And that gives you all the commits that are incoming before you pull it, which is cool. Ashra says, probably want to throw a save window excursion in there. I think you're right. Rational updates, but please don't break my config. Yeah, we could try that GK sudo. I don't know how likely it's going to be. So save current excursion. I mean, wouldn't with current buffer take care of that? I'm not sure. Come on now. I need to get Lispy up in here, I think. Okay, so rational update show log. What? Save window excursion. Yeah, that looks more correct. I don't like how long that takes to compute, though. Why did it not work? Oh, because save window excursion is keeping that window from showing up. So let's take that back out. We don't want that. Rerun it. Okay, cool. So we at least have that working where you can see the list of commits. And that can happen from anywhere. So you want to be able to see that from anywhere, basically. In fact, let's do this too. So we can write a message. Fetching latest commits to Rational Emacs. Just so people know that something's happening, because it takes a moment. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so that works. Cool. Now check for latest. Let's see. We could also do defun, rational updates, pull latest. There we go. That probably works. We're not going to run this one yet, but it is something we could do. And let's copy all that. I guess we could just say Rational Emacs. All right, so the thing we want to do here is VC pull, right? Update the current file set or branch. Is it gonna bug me? Let's see, VC pull. Maybe rename the VC log buffer afterwards to rational changes. That's not a bad idea. I like that. All right, so there's an interactive argument we can pass. Optional prefix arg forces a prompt for the VCS command to run. Don't want to do that. Prompting for an argument list if required. Okay, so in theory that should work. We will deal with that in a moment. So won't run that just yet. VC pull. And then VC log incoming. I wonder if at this point I can change the buffer. Gun says, is rational show log just showing or really fetching? As doing both. Maybe I could just say fetch latest, huh? Is that better? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Can I set a poll? I've never done this before, I don't think. Rational updates, show latest. I don't remember what did I have it called before? Show log. Maybe show latest is better. Rational updates, fetch latest. Boom. Now there's a poll in the YouTube chat. I don't know if it's gonna work. Did a poll show up? I don't see it in my chat. Fetch and pull has a different meaning in Git. Yes, it does. Let's go to the live chat. Yeah, because it's fetching is not pulling. In Git at least, fetching is just grabbing the latest commits locally so that you can look at them. But pulling is actually merging those into the current branch. All right, so while that's running, I don't know what's going on there. Never run one of these before. What else we're gonna do here? Check for latest. So hold on now. VC fetch pull. There must be an intermediate step. Maybe we should go take a look at the code and see what it does. VC pull. Kind of curious about if they do anything intermediate there. VC pull. VC file set, find backend function, blah, blah, blah. Up to date. I don't see it particularly doing anything. Which thing in here runs the pull? Call backend, backend. Oh, okay, so this is call backend thing. Let's check that out, actually. Maybe there's a fetch in VC call backend. In the given args, VC backend fun exists after trying to find it in VC backend.el. How about that? VC git fetch? No. Pull, push, dash state. Obviously, it is pulling the latest somehow because I did not pull those commits myself. Uh-oh. There's a phone in this room that started to ring now. Maybe I should check out this log incoming because this is doing something. VC log incoming. We'll check out the code of that one too. I hope that whatever music this is that's playing on that phone is not going to get me copyright striked. It's probably old enough that it won't. Deduce backend, incoming, outgoing, internal. Backend remote location. Okay, so it looks like I look at that function too. I should turn on keycast. Not gonna work here, is it? Nah. Yeah, I know. It's super obnoxious. All right, so I'm ending the poll. Looks like it was the excuse me. Yeah, Piotr, I think it is Vivaldi. Hey, Christian. Now that I ran the poll UI just completely disappeared, and I have no idea what... Oh, okay, there we go. So, show latest is the winner on that. Confirmation dialog is a good idea. Yes, we should do that for sure. And maybe there should be a third option for show, to show like what the latest commits are. I like that too. So how about that? Let's go back to rational updates for a sec. Pull latest, so confirm. Is there like a built-in function for doing confirmation commands? There's like a yes or no. Ask the user a yes or no question. Can you do tertiary options? There must be something else you can use because there are so many commands in Emacs that have like 15 flags you can give it. Kind of like, what is it? When you try to exit Emacs or use read key. Y or in. No, don't want that. Process kill buffer. Kay says, I hope it's Nokia. No, it's not Nokia. It's some phone, house phone they have here. I like the Korn-inspired code snippet here. If you know what I'm talking about, you probably just heard it in your head. Hey, Anders. All right, so you can do a yes or no, but I want to have a third option for show updates. So maybe I just write my own. Keep in mind that one of the PRs changed the yes or no function to Y or N. Yes, I know. So probably we should just write our own, which I don't know. I kind of don't want to have to do that, but I'll do it. Define rational updates. Confirm pull. So what's the source for this? Does it have source? Or is it just like a, yeah, it's like a hard-coded function. No, it's the subber. Transient, or would that be overkill? Probably a little bit overkill, especially because they don't have that in built into earlier versions of Emacs. Yes or no? It doesn't exist anywhere else? Come on now. Read string. Read a string from the mini buffer. Okay, that's what we want. Read string, okay? So read string. This will update your... Yeah, that might be enough. Okay, so put a prompt at the end there, and then we can just copy this out. Go drop this here. Okay. Now we'll throw this into a let prompt answer. Pull it up there. This will update. Thank you. It's always nice to have people watching your back. On the Flux Harmonic streams, the only way I make anything work on that stream is because people like Ashraj and Gunn are there telling me all the things I'm doing wrong, which is awesome. Okay, so case. Is case the right thing or is it conned? Whoops. Come on, close out. Conned. P case maybe is the real one I want to use. Okay, so P case, and can I give it like lower case, lowercase p. S doesn't come with Emacs. There's a command for this or a function for this. I can't remember what it's called. It's something else that you don't. Oh, downcase, right? Downcase. Okay. Right. So downcase, prompt answer, and let's just go with. We're just filling some stuff in right now. What do they say in Wolfenstein 3D? Whenever you say that you want to use this, or when you want to exit Wolfenstein 3D, what do they say to you? I forgot it. Which option is the default? No, probably is the default. That's true. Good point. So if we'll have to check that one out, but let's just get somewhere with this really quick. So yes, no, and then log, and for log, we want to execute rational updates show latest. Whoops. Yes, no, log. You want to put like a capitalization on the default? That makes sense. You have to type out the response. I mean, my theory on having to type out the full word is that it makes it less likely you're going to make a mistake by accident, because if you have to type in yes versus y, you're less likely to make a mistake or type in the wrong thing automatically by accident. But I could be wrong about that. I guess log could be the default, right? Exit pursued by bear? No, that wasn't it. It's something a little bit more insulting. All right, let's do this. Let's just try to run it really quickly and see what it does. Rational updates, confirm poll. Oh, you know, that doesn't... I should just put that in the other function. How about this? So, yes. Okay. No. And then log. Rational update show latest. I did not actually rename that function yet. So, show latest. Log, and then it's running. Oh, completing read. Oh, thank you. So maybe. I think completing read does something a little bit different though, which probably isn't terrible, but if there, Andre says if there's something important, you should do long text. If something isn't that important, retrackable, then you just use Y and N. Yeah. Well, this is kind of important because you might break your configuration. Yeah, Andre says please use capital character for the default value. Okay. All right. So we can move this then to poll latest. In fact, how about this? We're going to change the name of this. We'll change this to poll latest. And then this is going to be an internal function called rational updates poll commits. Just move this a little bit up here maybe. And then when they say yes, we will run rational updates poll latest. And then here, just do nothing. I mean, there's no reason to berate the user for not wanting to update. Maybe we can say, you can always check the latest commits by running mx rational updates show latest. Go, let's try that now. Rational updates, whoops, poll latest. Are you sure? No. Okay, cool. See ya, Bill. Thanks for coming. Andre says, just think what Linus did in his channel. What did Linus do? I wasn't watching that. Gun says, I think it should read fetching the latest commit logs. Yeah. I killed the stream. No, I'm just kidding. I was responding to Ashra's question. Okay, so check for latest. It's kind of weird. But honestly, maybe we don't need to fetch because, well, we do need to fetch. Let's go back to the code we were looking at before. So we were in vc.el. We were looking for this vc incoming, outgoing, internal. VC log internal common. The more you start calling into backend functions, the more trouble you're going to get into soon. Backend buffer name. VC call backend. What is BK? Lambda BK. Okay, so it's like a callback function here. Man, what a mess. So fetch. Return the working version of file. This is a revision fetched by the latest checkout or update. Oh, is update what it's called? VC update? Update the current file set or branch. So let's check the docs on that one. VC update. This runs a pull. Well, what? I thought pull ran a pull. Update the current branch, prompting for an argument list. Okay, so what's pull do then? VC pull. Runs a pull operation. So is it not the same thing? Update, oh, find change log file. Ricardo says something like, fetch is not going to happen. I think it's a meme reference. Okay, it's aliases. Thanks, Aaron. Cool, so we're looking at update changelog, find changelog file, find log entries for all registered files in the current directory, find only log entries for the current buffer's file. Okay, so we may have to shell out to git fetch ourselves because, I mean, the assumption is you're using git if you're using this. So let's see, let's do this. Let me check what I just did there. Fikri is giving me some feedback on something. Pull latest pull. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm basically recursively calling it. So that's a great point. Let's fix this really quick. So rational updates, pull commits. Okay. Diff merge, no. Sure, you could just run git fetch. Maybe that's all. But I want to run git fetch and get like more like an exit code or something potentially. Yeah, Ricardo says Mean Girls reference. That's right. So git fetch origin. So echo 0. Okay. So if you run git fetch origin, it doesn't really give you any output aside from, well, it would give you output if there was something to fetch. Ah, yes, Ashraz, I think you're right. But how do I prompt correctly there? Maybe I have to do that some other way. Okay. So if I just run git fetch myself, let's say if I say start process shell command git nil git fetch origin. Yeah. But I need to find the, oh, it gives me the process back and then I can use some other function, process exit status. Yeah. Query on exit flag, return the current value of query on exit. If process has not exited or died, what? Return 0, okay, so it's gonna return 0 either way. That doesn't make any sense. Is there like a process status? Come on. Process status. Yeah. Process status. Cool, cool, cool. Polling really does the merge. Yes, it does do the merge. Ashra says, let a PR handle that. Yes, thank you. I will let a PR handle that. I'm hoping you're signing up for that. Okay, so let's go back over to rational updates. I can probably do this. Let's just try it really quick. I might have to find a way to roll back the repo a little bit so that I can try this out. So let's grab this whole thing. VC git log incoming buffer remote location. Setup buffer. Yeah, I didn't get all of that, Tomas. Okay. So check for latest. That's where we're doing this, right? We're going to put this in interactive. And then let git process. Let's get this out of the way. And then we're going to watch that git process, maybe. I don't know. Like, it might take a little while, and I don't want it to hold up the Emacs session. So we're going to have to poll it a little bit. We can use run at time, potentially. Magic discard. I haven't heard about that one. Okay, so let's close out the let binding list, and then we can check. Well, let's just do run at time. I don't know. This is going to be a little bit dirty. Let's just try it though. So every 1 second, repeat true. No, let's not do that. How about this? Defun rational updates poll get state fetch status. I don't know. That's kind of a funky name. So what we'll do is check the current status. If process status, so that's it, right? Yeah, process status, and then we're gonna say equals. I gotta start thinking in an Emacs Lisp again. If equal process status, the see run stop exit. Okay, so it's exit's what we want. Get out of here. Jeez. Exit on process. If it's done, then we want to call rational updates show latest. No. Is that right? Yeah, show latest. Okay. Or maybe we just want to return a value. So no, because this one's going to be running asynchronously. I wonder if there's like a hook we need even. Okay, let me tell you what I'm thinking right now. We need a way to check for updates, and then once the update check is complete, if there's new commits, then we need to notify the user, like maybe on the mode line, that there's updates, or maybe a status message, or sorry, a echo area message. So I'm trying to think of a way to do that, which makes sense. So we'll just write a message out. How about that? So if process exit status, is that right? Equal, is that the right name for the function? Okay. I'm losing it here. Going back and forth between scheme is not very easy. Equal process exit status 0, which means it pulled fine, then it's finished updating, but we don't actually know if that means there are new commits. So we may need to do something else to get that information. I was working on this another place. All right, get list number of commits since last pull. Get rev list. Show all commits changes since last pull. Let's see. Okay, get log, sure. Get log origin / branch name. Okay. let's give that a shot really quickly. I'm going to go back into eShell, git log is it origin slash quit. We're going to do that one line. Okay, so it does give us the number of commits. We could read that back out. You can just get the current head before doing the fetch and see if head changed. That's possible too. Yeah, that's a good point. If you have the commit ID, you can use git rev list. Okay. Oh, count. Nice. Well, we could read that, and it probably is there like a variable VC commit? Good question. Good question. Being able to use git rev list would be nice. So if, let's just see, git status. Where's the hash? Git log 1. So I'll just grab just a little piece of the hash right here. Can I just do git rev list? I think I could do count, then that, and then origin master. Can't I? 5. Okay, that helps. And that's something that, in theory, if you run it synchronously, it wouldn't be a huge problem, I hope. So we could tell if... Okay, it does return 0, which is good. So what about if I did master versus origin master? Master... Origin master. Just using the ref seems to work. Okay. So how about this? Let's see. Defun, rational updates. So check for latest. But the latest, we really do need to do a fetch on that. So it makes sense to do a fetch. What we really want to know after that's done is if that number is more than 0, then we need to tell the user that there is, let's see, get new commit count. And then we can use, let's see, start process. And it returns a process object. I want to just run a process and just have the output be given back to me. Call process. Okay, call process, and then what's it give me back? Ah, nice. Shell to string. Thanks, Alejandro. Shell to string. Shell command to string. I think I've used that one before. Great. Okay, so how about this? Let's run shell command to string, and then, oof, what was that? Gotta love these notifications. Probably got a subscriber or something. Read care from mini buffer. Thank you, you super YouTuber, for subscribing. All right, cool. So that does actually return 5. Is there something string to number? String to number. How about that? Let's do this. String to number. 5. Great. So it does trim the stuff around the edges. So I guess the question is, if it doesn't return a number for some reason, it's going to blow up. But that's something we can work on a little bit later. We won't turn the auto update behavior on by default. So let's grab that I just ran. And put it right there. Excuse me. And now let number commits. Yeah, I guess I could do this a little bit differently, but excuse me. Well, it just returns a commit count, so I don't really need to do anything, right? let's just do this. Simple, simple. Because we have that now. Poll get fetch status. Okay, so what we're waiting for is for get fetch to complete. So run at time 1. I do not want to make it a recurring thing. Why is eval still setting open? All right, let's go into, where was I? Close that. Get out of my face. Run at time. I'm waiting for the LDoc to show up at the bottom. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Repeat function. Okay, so now I want to give it rational updates poll get fetch status. If equal process exit status 0. So what do I want to do when this is done? Maybe there needs to be like a hook or check for latest. Maybe check for latest just needs to notify the user somehow. We'll just run it here. How about that? So when greater rational updates get new commit, it's greater than 0, then we want to message updates are available. So how about this? Okay, now, and there's an else. Well, we just need a when here, I think. All right, so then now if I go to the else case of that main one there, because we're looking to see if the process is done, then I can use run at time again. Let's just copy that whole thing right here. All right, so that should be good now. And this in theory should be good now. So let's try that. Rational updates, check for latest. Takes a moment. Who knows why? Error running timer, wrong number of arguments. Ah, that makes sense. So run at time. I think I can give args here. So process, get process, right? Okay, get process. And this needs to be process. Reevaluate both of those. Great. And then let's run it one more time. Error running timer, wrong number of arguments. Oh, equal 1. Where was that? My mistake. Okay, and now we will run it one more time. Error running timer, wrong number of arguments, process exit status. Ah, yes. Forgot that. Real-time live development here, people. Okay, Rational Emacs updates are available. Cool. So I think that's good enough for doing a little check. Second win can be collapsed with an and with the first win. Let's see. Ah, yes. You're right about that. Thank you. So let's just get rid of that one. Put that there. Close that and make sure that everything here is correct. Cool. So when equal process exit status process 0 and yeah, okay, great. That is much better. So we run it one more time, check for latest. I probably should put a little prompt there to say that we're looking. Checking for latest Rational Emacs updates. So let's run it one more time. Okay, so it's giving a little notification in the message area. Rational Emacs updates are available. Case says, you don't use par edit or similar. I use Lispy in my own config, but we don't have that set up in this one yet. Excuse me. Okay. Indentation is now too much on which message? Ah, you're right. Thank you for that. I definitely need to have Lispy set up in here. We do need to figure out how we want to set up development configurations in this config for specific languages. I'm thinking of something like a rational dev Lisp or C, that kind of thing. Just to have a way to separate each language so that we can have all that stuff more clear to find for people who want to learn from it. Okay. Rational Lisp, yeah. Whoops, I just deleted something. All the time, Control X, Control S, I hit something wrong and I end up deleting characters. So, this seems to be working. It's telling me that there's updates. Now the question is if I run the pull command, if the pull command is going to work. So, rational updates pull latest. Maybe. I bet it won't work because I have changes to the code in here. Is there a way to check if the version control is dirty? IBM Rational Emacs. Let's see. Well, let's just see what happens. I'm curious to know what's going to happen if I do this. Pull latest. Well, let's say log first. Let's just see what happens. All right, fetching latest commits to Rational Emacs. Boom, shows up the list. Great. Pull latest. I'm going to type yes. I didn't eval that one, apparently. Cannot pull rebase. You have unstaged changes. Please commit or stash them. At least it gives you a notification about that. So, if you're a developer on this configuration, how's this going to work for you? I guess you probably just use git normally. Yeah, I know. You need a rebase, but I don't think we want to do that for the average user of this that aren't going to be updating the actual rational config themselves or writing new things into it. Mood Emacs. Where did Ashras say that? Yeah, another Mood Emacs. Yeah, it shouldn't be kitchen sink, that's for sure. Okay, so if I make a commit, I'm going to be... It's going to create a merge commit. I don't want that. So maybe I can stash it temporarily. This code's already been evaluated. If I stash it, it won't work, though, will it? What have I changed? Let's see, VC log. I don't really like... No, is it VC diff? Root diff. Is that the right one? What else have I changed in here? Oh, is that what you're upset about? Okay. Apparently that's the change it doesn't like. The GNU TLS thing. Okay. eShell. Git stash. Let's try this like that. Now we're going to run it again. Pull latest. Yes, update it. Hey, it worked. So now, if I try to run it again, check for latest. And it doesn't do anything because I did not add another... yeah, this is why I shouldn't have changed that logic right there, I think. Because I need... Where was it? Right there. It's good. Okay, so for this specific case, I do need an if. Because I needed to give a message to say that you're up to date. Okay, so now let's try it one more time. Okay, so it says it's up to date now. Cool. So we actually did just manage to write an update functionality for this. This is not necessarily the most robust update functionality, but it's a starting point in case anybody wants to install this configuration and try to keep it up to date as time goes on, especially if they're not going to be editing the files in the main config, part of the repo. So all this stuff does seem to work. What happens if I do rational updates show latest if there's no updates to look at? Yeah, nothing basically. Maybe what I can do for show latest, if I can run check for latest myself. Nah, I don't want to do that. Source of git. VC git next revision is a good example of how you can call a custom git command with their output by using a with temp buffer, Tomas says. Let me look at, what was it called? X Raptor says, "Are you an Emacs developer?" No, I'm not. I'm just an Emacs enthusiast. Where was it? Get next revision. VC get next revision. VC get next revision. Get specific revision of VC next revision. Okay. Default directory, relative file, current rev with temp buffer. Oh, okay. So you can actually use this VC get stuff. Kay says, "Aren't we all X-Rafter?" Yeah, that actually is a good point. We are all Emacs developers. If you're writing your Emacs configuration in Emacs Lisp, then technically speaking, you are an Emacs developer. So it looks like this probably... Let's jump over to a Scratch buffer. I'm kind of curious about what this does. Scratch. Oh, come on. Are you seriously going to do that to me? Emacs Lisp mode, thank you. I really need Lispy in here. I might have to set that up myself in a moment. Okay, so VC get out okay, rev list -1. Let's do this. Master, in fact, wait, what, -1? Oh, right. Master, and then origin master. It'd be nice if I didn't have to shell out myself. I think it's going to write into the current buffer though, which is going to be kind of funny. Just a T? Okay. You have to be in a file. Oh, of course. Thank you, Tomas. You're right. So maybe I'll run a whole snippet. How about this? Let's do buffer to string. Is there a function for that? I'm trying to find a way to get to the actual content. If buffer file name with temp buffer VC out, okay, yes. Find file, no select. I should probably just be doing this in the actual code. Let's just try it out for 1 second. Maybe what I'll do also is I'll go check in that code I made, then we can start making updates to it to try out some different strategies. All right, so this is looking pretty good. Rational updates. I think that's an okay name for this. We can change it later if we want to. Yeah, buffer string. Yeah, cool. Thanks. So what we'll do is check this in. I don't want to use VC mode for that because I'm going to totally get it wrong. So we will, let's see, stage rational updates here. Add a rational updates module for automatic update checks. Okay. And I'll push that in case anybody wants to take a look at it or send a PR. Okay, that seems to be done now. So now we can experiment a little bit with what we've done. So instead of calling get rev list here, now one thing I did not do, which is a bug, I think, is I did not set the right home path. This all happened to be working because I'm in the current repository path, so I need to actually set the right repository path before I do this. And it would be nice. This is lexically scoped, which makes things a little bit more complicated. Is there a way to do a dynamic binding in a scope? Because I'm trying to I need a way to make this whole concept reusable where I am, where is it? Find file, no select. So this thing right here, I need to make this generalized. Yeah, Tomas makes a really good point. I agree with that. Okay, so every command that needs to run git needs to do something like this. Pass dir path to repository. That's also a good point. I wonder if that function that Tomas mentioned actually does that too, if it has the ability to take the path directly. Go back to the scratch buffer. Out okay. That sounds like it only... Okay, so VC get call. Maybe that's the function I really want. VC get call. Yeah, definitely need to be using this instead because otherwise we're going to get into a lot of trouble on other systems. It sounds like to do some stuff for Windows. Yeah, okay, that's fine. More spammers in the chat. Okay, so let's just quickly try to do this. How much time we got left? About 30 minutes? Cool. So for the update checks, we run start process shell command. Instead of doing that, we can use this other command instead. We'll use this with current buffer trick to set the right scope, or at least set the buffer from which it's going to operate, which gives it the right path. Raptor, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about someone else who's spamming URLs in a cryptic way. Thanks, Ashraz. All right, so find file no select, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should just have a function for defun, rational updates, find. Not the greatest. Man, another one. I'm perfectly happy to have someone make this code better because I'm just doing it to make it a little bit easier for us to manage right now. Find init el. Okay, that's good enough. That should work. No worries, no worries. Okay, so now this with current buffer. Let's start by running. We also need the with temp buffer thing, don't we? I wonder if that's going to work. Is it going to pick up the right path? I think it's going to defeat the purpose. I'm trying to think of the right approach for this. Let's check these VC get functions again. I want to see if there's a way to pass. Let's see, default directory. If I can set default directory, but the thing is, I think, oh, no, that's a dynamic variable, isn't it? Yeah. It's defined with def var, at least. Working is better than no code. I agree. Can you predefine get dir for the Emacs session? Maybe. So another possibility here would be... Here, let's let default directory... user Emacs directory. Okay. I'm going to experiment for a second just to try and see what works. We're going to put that right there. We're going to take that off. We're going to put that there. And we're going to delete that temporarily. I've already checked in the code, so we're not going to lose anything. Well, let me double check that before I go and lose something. Let's see. Excuse me. Projects code, Rational Emacs. Yeah, I already pushed that, so it's good. Okay. Close that. And then back here, we need to check. So we have temp buffer. We're writing things out. Message, buffer string. Is that what it was? Return a constants of the buffer as a string. Blah, 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 blah. Now we can run that. Rational updates, check for latest. Didn't seem to do anything. How about this? Message, here's the output. Oh, no, I want to do this maybe. That can't have happened that fast. How about this? If I need to drop in here. Is that the right level? No, this one is. message, failed to execute git. I would like to use the right functions for this, so that's why we're trying to experiment with this other way of invoking it. Here's the output. Okay. Well, it seems to have run it correctly. Okay, let's try another command. We'll do log-1 one line, just to see if it actually does something. Fail to execute git. Why? Oh, because I did everything as one string when it should be multiple. Okay, fine. There we go. Let's try this now. Cool. Okay, so that does actually do the right thing. Yeah, this is not a distro, just a starting point, as Alejandro says. Okay, so we're good. We can actually get the buffer string output from this. So if we have a separate function, define rational updates, call get rest args, then what we could do is, you know, we're going to try to call it from within the perspective of the user Emacs directory. So we want to do this in two different places. We're going to do it for this revlist command we're calling, but maybe that's the only one. Let's see, git. Yeah, so I don't know. Does it make sense to split that out? Maybe we'll use it for other things later. We can try that. Check for latest. What were we doing before in that function? I don't even remember now. Come on, save. Projects code, Rational Emacs. Oh, we were saying git fetch origin. Cool. Good to know. All right, so we were calling git fetch origin here. So we have two places where we call git, so we can do this basically. And for args, what we're going to do is this a function? So can I invoke that? Natively compiled function. Okay, I think I can use apply for that. Go away. Go away. Okay, so apply vc get out okay, and then we will pass through the args here. I think that should work, right? I think args has its own args list. With a single argument, call the argument's first element using the other elements as args. With a single argument, call the first argument's first element. Using our using our last arg as a list of args. Finally, fine. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So that should be fine. Get rid of that part. Now, check for latest. We're calling git fetch. Now we don't have to do our little status check anymore. We've got this function that will take care of it for us. So we can immediately jump into the next step. So can I tell it to call another function then? See you, Ashraz. Hi, Jingle Stick. All right, so we check for latest, and if we find out that there's updates, we try to do fetch first, then we run this other rational updates get new commit. Anders brings an interesting point. It looks like it will clear the environment variable get dir. So we should actually try this in another buffer to make sure it's going to work correctly. But oh well, yeah, we should do that at some point. With temp buffer. Oh, wonder if Emacs sets user Emacs directory correctly. I guess it must. Fail to execute get, not better to error. I don't know. This is just like temporary code. Yeah, I'll take a look at that Anders in a second if it becomes a problem. Check for latest. I want to call rational updates, call get. And for the args, I want to tell it fetch origin. But then, yeah, I need to do multiple arguments, which is a little bit of a pain. However, I need to be able to tell it who to call when it's finished. So when this is done, I wonder if it's just hanging Emacs. I don't think it's asynchronous. Or maybe it is. So I'm curious. Process environment. It does something with get dir, but I'm not exactly sure what it's doing here. Process file, vc get program. Okay, process file. Process file synchronously in a separate process that runs program. Okay. Yeah, it's not cool if it hangs Emacs while it's trying to fetch, but yeah, we'll deal with it. Okay. So then I may just want to pass in a function. So callback. And then for the callback here, I would probably give it... I could pass it a lambda, I suppose. Feels kind of weird to do that there, though. So if we're getting the new commit count, notify of updates. How about that? I can take this little section here. Whoops. Why is it doing that? Paste that in. So if rational updates get commit count is greater than 0, notify of updates. And this one also could just be a direct call out as well. So, that's annoying. I don't like the whole callback approach, because that was pretty clean, calling shell command a string. Suppose I could wrap that behavior though. Well, maybe call get just returns. Instead of having a callback, I could return the buffer string output. Otherwise, I don't know. I think maybe I'll just return nil for now, and then let the caller deal with error handling. Yeah, it's definitely synchronous process call. Okay, so call get is going to run it. Let's try that really quickly. Rational updates, call get, log, -1, 1 line. Okay, cool. That did work. So then here I can say when rational updates call get. Yeah, so if it returns anything other than nil, which may be risky, not sure. Wait, hold on. So yeah, okay, this will return false if there was a problem, so should be fine. Then I want to call notify of updates. All right, and then here I can instead use call get. So let me drop this little function back up here. I can still use what I was using before. Delete that, wrap this with some quotation marks. That should be fine. Notify of updates. Okay, so let me try running this one really quick. Rational updates, notify of updates. Rational Emacs is up to date. Okay, that seems right. So then rational updates check for latest. Is that correct? Here's the output. Who said that? Oh, I probably need to, come on, re-eval this function. Okay, so it's definitely running Git right now. Rational Emacs is up to date. Great. I think that still works. So the only downside of this approach is that it will block Emacs momentarily while it's checking for updates. So if it happens on some interval, then it might be annoying to the user, but maybe that's something that you turn on intentionally, at least in the beginning. So let's try that. How about this? Rational updates. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to make this a function or a variable. If you make it a variable, then you have to check it somewhere and then set up the timer to call it. But if you make it a function, then how do you cancel it? Maybe you make it a minor mode. I think that's actually a good idea, making it a minor mode. So can I do like a define minor mode? Rational updates mode. I don't remember the syntax of this. Mode doc. Provides an automatic update checking feature for Rational Emacs. And also, what else does you need to do here? So doc keyword val rest body. Okay, so some of this is probably going to be, if it's global, yeah, global T for sure. And now for the body, if Rational Emacs mode, let's fix that. Then, let's see, how do I cancel a timer? Let's see, run at time. I think that's how I could do it. Come on now. If Rational Emacs mode, then run at time. How often? Once a day? Kay says, yeah, run it when Emacs starts, and maybe you could check if there are any frames open and skip. If not, maybe so. I don't know if... let me see. Running at startup could be a pain because it's not running it asynchronously. The fetch is going to happen synchronously, which is a little bit of a pain. VC get dash dash. Is there any way to call this async? I guess they didn't even put it in there. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, run at time. Maybe it wants to do a check initially. Oh, this is not begin, it's prog-n. Another scheme-ism. String trim output. Yeah, I don't think we need to do that just yet, the string trimming thing. So what am I thinking right now? Jeez, I just totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, the function check for latest. Boom, 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 right there. Check for latest. Rational updates, check for latest. Okay, then run at time. There's definitely a way to call this with a time that has more of a human readable aspect to it. So 2 hours, 35 minutes. Can we just say like 24 hours? Close the window, please. Thank you. Def var. rational updates, update interval. I know that's very redundant. Fetch interval. Okay. And we can start it off with a string of 24 hours. Is that going to work? 2 hours, 35 minutes. Okay. Yeah. The interval at which rational updates mode will check for updates. Okay. I executed that one. Run at time, rational updates fetch interval. We'll also have another defun here, rational updates do automatic fetch, because what I need to do here is check when rational updates mode, because if it's been turned off, you don't want it to run the fetch. Rational updates check for latest. All right, so we got that. We're gonna run that. Now we have the update interval. We can run the function. We want nil. We don't want it to repeat because we want it to actually, let's see, when it is there, we're gonna run that one more time. So run at time, rational updates, fetch interval, nil. Define rational updates, schedule, fetch. Then we're gonna put this little line in here. And then okay, so run at time, rational updates fetch interval, nil, rational updates do automatic fetch. And then this will schedule again, rational updates, schedule, fetch. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna be able to try this very easily. Ooh, did I just put that there? What language am I in right now? Okay. So we define the rational updates mode. Let's do something really dumb. So I'm gonna set the update interval. Rational updates fetch interval to 5 seconds. And I'm gonna run rational updates mode. Rational Emacs mode. Rational. Did I just type that? Yes. Okay. Okay, so I think it ran the check. Up to date. Now, the check. Yeah, I feel it hanging Emacs. Fetch updates. Oof. Yeah, every now and then it's hosing Emacs. Check for latest. So I probably need to leave a message here at the beginning so we know what's happening. So fetching latest commits. So let's see what it does in a second. Fetching latest commits for Rational Emacs. Rational Emacs is up to date. Cool. So it is working. I just have the update interval very, very frequent. We could say checking latest commits or checking for. Let's make it a little more specific. Checking for Rational Emacs updates. And now it should say the right thing. Okay. Okay, so now I can go back and set this update interval to, let's say, 24 hours instead. And then the next time it does the update and then it sets a timer, it probably will stop doing that. And I could also just run a rational updates mode, turn it off so that it stops doing that completely. So I think that was pretty good for writing a whole module in one stream. I didn't really expect to get the whole thing working in that amount of time, but it's kind of cool. Anders says, run at time, 90 min, repeat, will run it each 90 minutes. Yeah, I want to have more control over when it actually does restart because I don't want it to just, you know, run nonstop. I have to be able to cancel it somehow. All right, let's check for latest, schedule fetch. I don't know if we want this initial check for latest in here though. Maybe I should let the user decide to do that. All right, so when rational updates mode, I think we'll do right there. And then we'll try running it one more time. Okay, and then it schedules the fetch. Cool, cool, cool. I think that's good. Rational updates, check for latest. Cool. All right, let's check that in, huh? No. So let me just double check what I did in the code here. These functions definitely need documentation. That's one thing I did not do. And well, we got a couple minutes. Maybe I can really quickly try to do that. So when enabled, it will automatically check for updates at the specified rational updates fetch interval. Okay. And then pulls the latest updates to Rational Emacs into the local configuration repository. And fetches the latest commits and notifies you. And everything else is good, right? That's the only interactive functions. Interactive. That one has an, oh, so show latest. Shows a log of the latest commits to Rational Emacs. Shows a buffer containing a log. Interactive. Pull commits. That does not need to be interactive. I don't think. All right, I think we're good. We can check that in now. Improve the design of rational updates. Add auto update mode. Cool. Yes, the interval is a def var. It's not a config variable. Maybe it should be a def custom. We're not really using def customs that much, but it doesn't hurt. I don't know if there's anything else I need to do for that. Is there like group rational? Is that how that works? So let's check that really quick. Group. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Alrighty, that works. Now let's check it in one more time. Let's see. Change rational updates fetch interval to def custom. Okay, now we're done, I think, right? Okay, so let me check the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. But I'm pretty happy with the progress we made on that today. Maybe if you enjoyed watching me hack through this, and we could do this another time, maybe next week if you are interested. I don't really know like how often I should do hacking on this configuration like this, but it's nice to be able to write something non-trivial and have it, you know, scoped to the amount of time we have available. I mean, I definitely would try to do the Rational Desktop configuration to get like an Emacs config, or sorry, EXWM configuration working. Then there's just other random things that we want to put in as well. Maybe some development setup, but at least for now, that was, you know, some decent non-trivial Emacs Lisp coding. Thank you all to those of you who had really useful input. I think we, you know, improved that quite a lot from the scratch that I put together at the beginning. So as I was saying, we will have a video next week. Otherwise, I will delete this channel. That's my own challenge to myself. What else? Anything else interesting? No, I think that's it for this week. So hopefully this was interesting and useful to you. Let me know if you have any other thoughts. And also, if you're interested in contributing to Rational Emacs, please feel free to go to the GitHub repository. That is github.com/systemcrafter/rational-emacs. A lot of contributions there already, and I expect to see, you know, many more, because there's, you know, people who seem to be interested in using it, which I think is cool. One thing I will do pretty soon, probably on stream, is try to convert my own configuration over to using this instead of my own base config. So I think that should be fun when we get to that. So anyway, thanks a lot, folks. I hope you all have a great weekend. Until next time, happy hacking. We'll see you. Now I gotta get to my key bindings. Oh no. Bye-bye.